There is a question that most people who have experienced a twin flame connection eventually arrive at, usually quietly, usually alone, usually after a moment of honesty they were not quite ready for. Is what I am feeling love, or is it need? And the reason the question is so difficult is not that the answer is hidden. It is that from the inside, love and need can feel almost identical. They produce the same pull, the same preoccupation, the same sensation of this person mattering in a way that defies ordinary explanation. But they do not come from the same place, and they do not lead to the same destination. This video is about learning to tell the difference, not to diminish what you feel, but to understand it with enough precision that it can actually move you forward rather than keep you circling. Let us start with what the experience actually feels like before any label is applied to it. Think about the quality of your awareness when you are waiting to hear from this person, not the surface of it, the texture. Underneath, there is a monitoring quality to it, a low level of vigilance that does not fully switch off even when you are doing other things. You are present in your day, but there is a thread of attention that remains oriented toward them, toward whether they will reach out, toward what their silence means, toward how you will respond when contact comes, and toward how you will manage if it does not. Now, notice what happens when contact does come, when the message arrives, or the call, or even just the awareness that they are thinking of you. For many people in a twin flame connection, the dominant feeling in that moment is not joy, it is relief. And relief is worth examining very carefully. Because relief is the resolution of tension. It means that before the contact arrived, some part of you was braced, was holding, was operating under a low level of threat that you may not have consciously identified as threat. Joy and relief are not the same thing. Joy is expansive. It opens. Relief is the releasing of a contraction that was already present. This is not a judgment. It is a distinction, and it is one of the most honest entry points into understanding what is actually happening in the nervous system during a connection of this intensity. Now ask yourself one more question. When you imagine this person being fully, consistently, peacefully available to you, what arises? Not the fantasy of reunion or return, just the plain reality of steadiness, of knowing they are there, of not having to wonder. For some people, that image produces calm. For others, it produces something unexpected, a faint restlessness, a loss of the particular aliveness that the uncertainty itself was generating. That response, too, carries information worth sitting with. Attachment theory, developed initially by John Bowlby and later expanded by researchers, including Mary Ainsworth, and more recently, Stan Tatkin, proposes something foundational about how human beings learn to relate. From the earliest months of life, the nervous system is learning a set of answers to questions it will keep asking for the rest of its life. Is closeness safe? When I reach for connection, will it be met? When someone I depend on disappears, does that mean they are gone permanently? Or will they return? And what do I need to do? How do I need to behave? What do I need to feel in order to maintain the proximity of the people I need most? These answers are not formed consciously. They are formed through repeated relational experience, through patterns, through what happened when you were small and you reached, and what happened when you reached, and the response was inconsistent, or absent, or warm one day and unavailable the next. The nervous system learns from all of this. It builds what researchers call an internal working model a kind of operational map for how relationships function and what they require of you. For people who developed what attachment researchers call anxious attachment, this map contains a specific set of instructions. Closeness is the goal, but it is not reliable. To maintain it, you must remain vigilant. You must monitor for signs of withdrawal. You must be prepared to escalate when the connection feels threatened. And you must find a way to interpret the cycle of longing and relief and renewed longing as meaningful, as evidence of depth, as something worth staying inside. Now bring this into the context of the twin flame connection. The twin flame encounter is, by its nature, characterized by intensity, by intermittent contact, by a quality of presence and absence that cycles in ways that are rarely predictable. For someone with a nervous system shaped by anxious attachment, this relational pattern does not feel unfamiliar. It feels, at a physiological level, like home, not because it is healthy, but because it is recognized. The nervous system does not distinguish between familiar and safe. It distinguishes between familiar and unfamiliar, and it will organize the entire emotional and cognitive experience of a connection around maintaining what feels known, even when what feels known is the sustained presence of longing itself. This is the place where spiritual longing and anxious attachment become genuinely difficult to separate. Because genuine longing, the kind that moves toward real contact and real knowing of another person, is also present in a twin flame connection. The recognition quality, the sense that something in this person speaks to something essential in you, that is not fabricated, that is real, but it exists alongside a nervous system pattern, and the nervous system pattern will use the genuine longing as its vehicle. It will take something real and run it through a template of vigilance, in monitoring, in relief that was built long before this person arrived. The question is not whether the connection is real. The question is, which part of what you are feeling is responding to this person, and which part is responding to a much older architecture inside you. Attachment neuroscience gives us one way to begin separating those two things, not by dismissing the feeling, but by asking about its texture. Does it open or does it brace? Does contact produce joy or relief? Does the uncertainty feel alive, or does it feel like a condition of survival? These are not rhetorical questions. They are diagnostic ones, and the answers begin to create a map. So what do you do with this? The first thing worth saying is that recognizing an anxious attachment pattern in yourself does not invalidate the twin flame connection. These two things can coexist. The connection can be genuinely significant, and the nervous system can simultaneously be running a pattern that is distorting how you experience it. Both things are true at the same time, and holding both of them honestly is more useful than collapsing into either one. The second thing worth saying is that the nervous system pattern is not a character flaw. It is not evidence that you love too much, or that you are too sensitive, or that something is wrong with you. It is evidence that you are human, and that you were shaped by your relational history the same way every human being is shaped by theirs. But it does require something of you. It requires the capacity to pause inside the activation and ask a question that the anxious nervous system finds almost unbearable to ask. Is this feeling a response to what is actually happening right now? Or is it a response to what my nervous system expects to happen based on what has happened before? That pause, that single moment of honest inquiry between the activation and the action, is where the possibility of something genuinely different begins. For the twin flame connection specifically, this matters enormously. Because if the intensity of the connection is being amplified by an anxious pattern, then what feels like spiritual urgency may in part be the nervous system recreating a familiar atmosphere of longing and relief. And that atmosphere, however charged with meaning it feels, will keep cycling until the pattern itself is addressed. Real longing, the kind that is oriented toward genuine contact rather than the resolution of anxiety, has a different quality. It can wait without bracing. It can tolerate uncertainty without interpreting it as abandonment. It moves toward the other person with curiosity rather than need. That is not a standard to condemn yourself against. It is a direction, a quality to begin cultivating slowly and without self-punishment, alongside whatever else this connection is asking of you. Come back to the body for a moment. Bring this person to mind and notice the quality of what arises, not the story, not the history, just the physical sensation of having them in your awareness right now. Is there a bracing quality to it? A holding, a monitoring thread that activates even in this quiet moment? If there is, do not try to change it, just notice it without judgment. That response has a history. It learned itself into existence through experiences that mattered. It was trying to protect something. And now it is here, in the middle of something it may not yet have the map for. The twin flame connection has a way of arriving precisely at the intersection of what is most real in us and what is most unresolved. That is part of what makes it so disorienting, and part of what makes it, when approached honestly, one of the more demanding invitations toward genuine self-knowledge that a person can receive. The longing you carry is not a problem to be solved, but it is worth understanding, worth tracing back to where it first learned its particular shape. Because when you can tell the difference between what you are longing for in this person and what you have always been longing for in yourself, something in the connection begins to breathe differently, not resolved, not finished, but more honest than it was before. What is it that you are actually waiting for? And how long have you been waiting for it?